Practicing medicine without insurance is possible. Imagine a private practice where you get to see your best patients every day, providing medical services you truly enjoy, all without the hassle of insurance. My name is Dr. T. Nguyen, and I'm a recovering specialist who was completely burned out from insurance-based medicine. I pivoted into direct care, where patients pay me directly for my medical services and have never looked back. If you're a private practice owner or planning to become one who's looking to be free of the grind of insurance and you're craving simplicity, efficiency, and connection with patients, you are in the right place. This podcast will help you map out your exit plan and uncover the mindset needed to thrive in today's economy. Welcome to the Direct Care Podcast for Specialists. Why start a podcast? I've been podcasting for 3 years with an all-time downloading rate of 17,000, which is crazy. I'm obsessed with listening to podcasts. I'm obsessed with creating ones like this for you. And people with money listen to podcasts. So if you're looking to explore a new creative avenue to make your mark in the world and create a lasting impact with just your voice, no makeup or dress attire needed, I think you should consider a podcast as your marketing tool for your direct care practice. Here's why it's great for a direct care practice. We are all about personalization and connecting. So why not show people what that looks like? It's taking the time to break down medical jargon. It's demystifying a scary diagnosis. It's decomplicating modern day treatments. So let's give your people a glimpse of how you function in your clinical practice by providing them with an episode or two about something that you care deeply about. Now, people hesitate to get medical care until they've heard your podcast or they heard you speak somewhere. So you also get to help people make informed choices through the education products you produce. You already do this education in your clinic. You're just doing it one person at a time. But what about creating a bigger impact through the podcast where you can reach thousands of people? Could you afford having a few more people in your clinic who knows exactly what you do and choose you because they've fallen in love with you? I think that would be such a great thing for your practice. It's a really great way to make connections. And it's not just patients, but it's other healthcare professionals who are listening into what you have to say. So that's how you get to expand your reach. So who actually listens to podcasts? Well, I give you a hint. It's people who are, generally speaking, higher income earners. These are people who are also very proactive in learning about health, and they're also educated people. So if you feel like you would like more of these types of people into your practice, this is a really great resource. A question that comes up, does it actually convert new prospective patients to come through? When people become obsessed in a healthy way about what you have to say in the way that you deliver information, you become more desirable. Now, wouldn't it be nice when somebody shows up and says, I already know how you function. I already know how you run this practice. I know that you are the person for me. And they fully commit to whatever price point you have. Wouldn't that be so amazing? That's what a podcast can do. The podcast can also work for you while you are sleeping. So people can listen to your podcast at 6 in the morning or at 6 at night, whatever time they choose to listen to you with whatever they're doing, cleaning the house, going on a walk, driving on their commute, they feel connected to you. Now, podcasting is all about educating your people. So it's a different way to market and then become known for the thing that you want to be known for in your area of expertise. If you remember before the internet and even before podcasting, marketing was really buying placement ads in newspaper, on billboards, and radio ads. But that is just a glimpse of your practice. It really doesn't help people connect with why they need to choose you. Through your podcast, you are conveying important information that helps them understand whether or not you are a good fit for them. So I personally listen to a lot of different kinds of podcasts. The ones that are health-oriented are ones like the Dr. Hyman Show. It's a functional medicine podcast where you can learn about all things functional medicine. And a podiatry one, The Pod of Inquiry by Dr. Stephen Barrett, who is a guest here on this show, who has also left insurance. He has a very intellectually stimulating podcast that is not just about podiatry, but all of the different interfaces with podiatry. So if you want to check those out, I'll put that down in the show notes. So what actually makes a podcast great? Well, it has to be intellectually stimulating, educational, entertaining. Like it has to have some of those features combined. And I always walk away with something new. So as long as you give like one tidbit of something that they can walk away with, that's incredibly valuable. You don't have to give them the encyclopedia of medical conditions that you've had to learn in medical school. You just got to let them walk away with one thing. Why are podcasts so great? Well, it makes me feel hopeful for the future of medicine. In a world where we're getting more disconnected with our doctors and patients feel like they're just a number in line trying to get a medical appointment, and then they get to the medical appointment, it's like a few minutes and then they're off with a prescription. This is a way to reconnect with people. So I really do love podcasting for that. When I listen to a trusted voice, it's like hearing a good friend speak or call you or check in with you to say hello. It's comforting and it's trusting, and that's how we build connection. So if you're wondering how do you actually start this podcast, it's really, really easy. And you already have it right in your hands. When I first started this podcast, it was my iPhone and my AirPods. That was it. So yes, the sound was really junky. It was really messy. I didn't really have a format. I was just kind of speaking on the topics of mind. But 3 years into it, I get to look back and say, whoa, I've learned a lot. If my podcast today sounded exactly like the first episode, I would not be proud. I would not be proud of my product because it wouldn't have shown or demonstrated my growth in this podcasting journey. And when I started, I was actually recording in my closet. So all I had was a closet, a phone, and the AirPods. With the editing process, I also use a free app on my MacBook Air, which was GarageBand. There's a lot of free softwares online that you can download to edit if you wanted to. I've heard podcasts where they don't edit anything at all. So that could be a thing too. Right now, I'm exploring Riverside as a recording studio. And I still record in my office. You might even still hear some background noise, like the birds chirping, the traffic going, my neighbor playing the trombone, all the sounds. I don't have it perfect. I don't have a booth, although I wish I did. I don't have any sound security. So I'm usually recording next to a window. So you're always going to hear something in the background. But you know what? If that makes me look authentic, I'm for it. As long as it doesn't distract you as a listener from understanding the point of the episode, then I'm actually okay. I don't have it perfect, and you don't have to have it perfect either. So if you want to start your podcast, also have in mind who you're speaking to. When I create this podcast, I know who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the doctor who's stuck with insurance. They want to figure a way out. And so I have that person in the front of my mind. And so when you create your podcast for your clinical practice, you want to think about your best patients and the questions that they have and then answer them. Because when you start speaking as if you're speaking to that one person and only that one person, it really heightens that connection. It makes it feel like you are speaking specifically to them, and that does compel them to connect with you in real life so that you become their doctor. And with your podcast episode, each one should give them a few benefits. Maybe let's just stick with one if this is your first time creating something like it. So what you want to say in your podcast are the benefits to listening to this episode is ... Don't worry about how to get started. I will give you some prompts at the end of the episode. So when you decide to take on this new project, you're going to be able to position yourself better as the health expert. This is an asset where you can share with people, I'm an expert at this topic, and here are my podcasts, here are my assets to show you how I speak on the topics that I get to choose or that you get to choose. So over time, this is how you build your brand. When people think about, let's say, a podiatrist, they're going to think about a very specific person, or an endocrinologist, or a neurologist, or a sleep doctor. So when people think about that specialty, you can be top of mind for these people because now you'll have a link to share with people and say, hey, I just talked about this topic. Here's the link. Go check it out. And it's a low barrier to entry to get to know you. They don't have to call your office. They don't have to do a whole lot of snooping around to decide if you're the doctor for them or not. They can just listen to one of your episodes. You also get to attract the people that you love helping, because when you have that person in front of your mind, when you're creating topics and answering questions that they're asking, you just get more of them. It's the law of attraction. Think about the person you love helping. Think about the questions and the pains that they might be going through. Answer their questions, make life easier for them, and you will get more of them. I don't make the laws. This is just how it goes. And of course, over time, you become better at communicating, which I find a lot of doctors still struggle with. A lot of doctors, because we have been in medical training for 8+ years, we have medical speak. So when we talk about a pathology, we talk about a disorder, we use those terms. But the general public has no idea if they even have that disorder. And so by practicing being in public, you will eventually learn to refine the way you communicate, which becomes more effective at reaching more people. So you get to evolve as a human being by being in public, by putting yourself out there. And that's a good thing. And if you're one who craves a creative outlet, you just have a lot of ideas in your mind, this is a really healthy way to do so. This is a creative outlet, especially if you love medicine and you want to help people. This is how you can do it. You can help many people, thousands of people, simply with the podcast. Now, down the road, you can do some nice upgrades like buy a new mic. You can get a booth where you can do your recordings uninterrupted. You can choose to have guests. You can choose to use AI to help improve the flow of your process as you research topics and you think about how to answer questions that people are already asking. And then you put a spin on it. You maybe create a story through your patient interactions. And through your stories, people find themselves in that predicament, and then eventually they find a way to connect with you in person. And then you have these patients that you love helping. I just know you've got some fears about it, some hesitation about podcasting. So let's hash it out. The first one is, what if people don't like it? You're afraid to be exposed, to be out there in public. It's very vulnerable, right? To show up on a big scale. And the thing is, it's true. Some people won't like your product. But so what? Some people won't like the color of your hair. They're not going to like the shoes you wear. And it sounds like I'm writing a poem. I'm almost there. And I'm just laughing at myself here because you know what? I enjoy this process because this is my creative outlet. And the thing is, if people don't like who I am, that's really okay. Like there's a million other podcasts to listen to. Like choose one of those. It doesn't have to be mine. I'm doing this for me. And so when you show up with your authentic self, with the things that you enjoy doing, you will attract the people who appreciate that. And you will repel the people who's not meant to be in your world. And it works out perfectly because that's exactly what you want. You want to attract the people who resonate with what you're saying. And then let everybody else go and find their own place. If you're doing anything that's meaningful, you're not going to get 100% consensus into people liking your product. That will never happen. So let that go. Let the right people in, let the wrong people out. Now, I know you're probably saying, but I'm not that good. Listen, nobody starts off good. That's the whole point, is that we just show up. We are already providing the information in our clinical practice with our one-to-one. We're just now expanding the reach. So be exactly who you are. And over time, you're going to get better at communicating medical problems in an effective way so that people know what to do once they hear that information. You're helping people make a decision. You're helping people decide if you are a good fit for them or not. So it's okay if you're not good. I think a lot of us show up at not being very good at anything that we haven't been doing for a while. So how do you get good? You keep doing it. You keep showing up. This is the gym of life. You only get better by repetition. And the repetition is creating more episodes and recording it and listening to how awkward you sound and then eventually delegating it. That's just the whole process, okay? Nobody starts off good. Nobody is born to be a podcaster. That's not a thing. All right. What if you're saying, I don't have the time? Yes, I get that. Nobody has the time for stuff that they don't like. So if you don't think you'll like this, don't do it. Don't torture yourself. But if you feel like what you have to say is really important, that you can connect with more people, that you are just craving to have a bigger reach, you will make time for it. You will figure out how to make time for it. Now, how long does it take me to create this episode? Well, it really depends on the process. The process is I jot out my ideas on what I want to talk about, and then I script it out on like the Google Drive. I'll have some notes. I'll record it. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe 3 hours goes by, right? And then I edit myself. I haven't delegated this out yet, but you can definitely save some time there. Or maybe you decide just to not edit it at all. And people do that. So you decide how much time you want to invest. The best way to go about this is to batch record. You take 1 day a month, record a bunch of stuff, and just be done with it. Hand it off to a freelancer who charges, I don't know, $5 an hour, $10 an hour. They can do all the edits. You're hands off at that point. So if you really wanted to do this, you will find the time to make it work. And it doesn't have to be weekly. It could be monthly. It could be a short series even about a particular topic if you wanted to. You're not committed to anything. You get to decide how much of this you want to invest in. And then at some point, if you realize it's not for you, then it's not for you. No harm's done. Now you're saying, I don't know where to start. I've got you. Here are the next 5 topics for your specialty. Number 1, what are the most common signs that people tend to ignore? Number 2, what is one diagnosis that you see in love that often gets missed or is being mistreated? Number 3, what's new in the treatment of your favorite topic? And why and when should it be considered? Number 4, when should somebody see the specialist in your area of specialty? And number 5, what are the myths people believe that you wish they wouldn't? I'm going to write this stuff down below. So you already got the 5 topics for your next 5 podcast episodes. These are the practical tips to get you started. The most important thing to take away from this is to just fall in love with the process. When you find yourself immersed in the work that you love doing, there really is no time boundary. Listen, your first episode is not your masterpiece. Your 300th episode is not your masterpiece. The real masterpiece is in who you become as you learn this new skill set to help more people than you possibly could with your one-on-one clinical interactions. So wouldn't that be such an amazing thing to leave behind while we're here on Earth? So there you have it, how to start your podcast all in a nutshell. If you want more tips on branding your practice and all things related to direct care, join me on the private Facebook site, and I'll talk with you soon. Take care. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a review and share it with a friend so more doctors can learn about direct care. Let's keep the conversation going on LinkedIn so we can help more doctors escape insurance and thrive in private practice. Thanks for listening. I'll talk with you next time. Take care.